Hello everybody, this is Shirley with So Too We Begin, and today I'm going to be talking about the Brother PR1055X, and I'm going to be focusing all of my attention on the information that's on our machine that shows up on our LCD panel. Now, at the last live stream I did this past Tuesday on the 6th, I mentioned that I was going to talk about the pages. It's 11 pages that are on our LCD panel. When I first got my machine, there were only 9. Now we have 11 because they added the Art Spiral mobile software where you can actually utilize it using this machine as well. So I'm going to go through page by page. I'll probably break this down into at least 2 separate videos because I don't want to do an overload for one, and I'm trying to make it as visible as possible, so bear with me with the moving of the camera and everything, because I'm really trying to make sure that I get as much of this screen as I can. So I'm still manipulating. Because I want you to see it. It's very important that you see everything. So now you can see the entire screen, top to bottom. And I'm hoping it's going to be close enough where you can actually see everything. At the top, and this is your main screen when it comes on, as you're aware of, and then you have your home button. This is for video, and this depicts the different sizes of hoops. This is your design information, and up here, this is your workspace where you see everything that is going on. So we're all pretty familiar with that. So I'm not going to really go through this. That's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to go through the pages. And that's what I talked about. This little icon right here are pages. Before I go into that, I'm going to go into this icon that is like a film strip with a question mark in it. Now, if you've never been in this screen before, you need to go in here because this is your operation guide. This is where you have videos, and you can't hear the videos, but you can see it. Support site, app guide, and your end user license, which everybody has their own. When you click operation, the parts of your machine is depicted. You get your principal part, and it talks about each part of your machine to get to know your machine. Like here, it is depicting where your thread goes. If you touch that, then it's going to go to another sheet, and it's going to say put 10 thread spools to this embroiderer, and it shows you where it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to look. So you can return from that. Here, it shows you the knob that's in the back of your machine. Rotate the hand wheel to move the needle up and down. Be sure to rotate the hand wheel counterclockwise, which is very important. If you have the need to use this hand wheel in the back, you have to make sure that it is turned only counterclockwise. You go over here, and it talks about all of the buttons, and the buttons that's at the bottom, that's all the way down here, which, let me tilt this a little bit so you can see the button. I don't know if you can see it yet. Oh, you can't see it, but hold on just a second. There we go. These buttons, as you know what they're for. This red button, when you hit it, it's going to turn green when you get ready to go. This is your scissor button, so you can actually cut your thread. And of course, this is the button that you use to thread your needles. And then you have up here what we're talking about. this particular button over here next to your date and time, and you can set your date and time, and then you also have an icon for your wireless thing. But you can set your date and time to make sure that's accurate, and if you want to keep up with how much time you're spending on a project or what have you, that's there. This one lets you go in here and you can go directly to a specific needle, or you can make your arm come out and in and so forth. So I just wanted to bring that up. And it tells you to touch the lock key, lit in red when the machine cannot start sewing, flashing in green when the machine can start sewing, lit in green while the machine is sewing, and off when the machine is turned off. And it just tells you what this light does. So it tells you all of that, and it just tells you what this particular screen is for. So let me get out of here. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I just wanted you to be aware that this is here for you to look at. A lot of people ask about tension. Adjust the tension of the thread, and it shows you right here. And you get more information about that as well on different screens. So let me adjust this again so we can see the whole screen. So hold on. Okay. So I'm still in this principal parts. Then you have basic operation, and it tells you how to do. For instance, it tells you how to check the tension of your bobbin. And I don't know if you know, you have this little weight in there in your toolkit that came with your machine, and it shows you how to check your bobbin. You go here, it talks about the loosen the thumb screw for mounting, jig, and this just talks about your hat, you're preparing the cap frame and everything. And on and on and on and on. How to remove your bobbin, open the hook cover, pull the hook cover down, all of that. Very simple information. Threading your thread, all of that. So don't dismiss that. This is your basic operation, and you can go through all of that. Troubleshooting. There's a whole list of possibilities of things that could possibly happen with a possible solution. So, you know, before you ask the question, because a lot of times I see people on Facebook asking questions about how to do this, that, and the other with their machine. And a lot of that information is available to you on your machine or in your manual. I just wanted to point that out because I'm the type of person, I like to find out things for myself first. And if I can't find the answer, then I'll go elsewhere and look for the answer. But the information is right here. It tells you pretty much what to do on most things. Not everything. And then you have maintenance. And maintenance basically is simply just oiling your bobbin every day. Do not forget to do that. So that's your basic operation guide. Then you have videos. There are videos that show you how to do most of everything that you need to do with this machine. Now again, it is like back in the 20s. There's no sound, which I don't understand why brother decided to put a video on with no sound. But as you can see, it is showing you how to properly install your bobbin into your bobbin case. It shows you that, and you can play this over and over again until you get it. But that information is there for you. You have what else? I think the needle, putting the needle in. I think that's what this is. They recommend that you turn the machine off. I never do. But anyway, this just shows you what to do to change your needle with the screw, the little screwdriver that came with it. I use a little plier to hold the needle so it doesn't drop down and get lost or whatever. also, so it makes it easy to insert another needle. So I use that. Let me see if I can get it. Sorry for getting in front of the camera, but I just wanted to show you. This is the screwdriver that they're talking about. And then this is, I don't know if it's called a needle nose plier. It's a clamp that you can use to grip the needle with. And this is what I use when I'm changing my needle. I got these from Madeira. I'm sure you can get them elsewhere, but I got these from Madeira. So these are the two pieces of tools that I use when I'm changing my needle, which makes it quite easy to do. So just wanted to make you aware of the functions and what have you. Then you have your support site, which has a QR scan here where you can actually go into the brother site and ask questions or get answers. It says answers to frequently asked questions. That would be the second place that I would go to if I have a question. Facebook is fine, but what I find about asking questions on Facebook, and not to say that you don't get good information, because you do. You really get good information, excellent information, but you also get information sometimes that is not accurate. And that in itself is concerning to me, because sometimes I will see something that is not correct, but this is the way someone does it, so this is how they're telling you to do it, when that's not necessarily the proper way to do something. So I always advise you to go to the experts. And what I mean by experts, I mean there are certain people that have been in the business for decades that you can trust. At least I trust them to answer a question. Or, again, you can look on your machine, you can look in your manual, and you can use the QR code here, scan in, and ask brother directly. So, then the app guide, which we now have Artspira, so you can do all of that. Then you also have your stitch monitor, where you can be in another room somewhere, and on your phone, if you download the app, and which you should, on your phone you can be able to see the progress of your stitching while you're in another room. You'll know whether or not it's changing thread, what position it is stitching, what part of the design it is stitching out. It also will alert you if the machine stops, if it's finished, if a thread breaks, or something's going on where you actually need to go and check it. So if you don't have that set up, you need to definitely do that. I don't use Artspira yet, but I definitely use my stitch monitor. So it just tells you to install it, and you can do it for your Android or your Apple phone, iPhone. Then, of course, you have your end user agreement information, just basically saying you promise to do whatever, and so forth and so on. And you can just read it and what have you. So that's what I wanted to point out with this page here. Now, I will go into the pages as promised. This little button down here at the bottom that looks like a page. As you can see, there's 11 pages. This is 1/11, which means there are 11 pages like this. And again, like I said, I'm not going to do all the 11 pages in one video, because that'd be a little much. But I do want to point out the various icons that are here. This is always your home icon here. It will take you back to your main screen, or always, that's your home. You need to know where that is. Sorry, get back here. This particular, and I'm going to look at my manual to make sure that I'm telling you 100% correctly what all of those buttons are. So let me get to that page. This this one right here, it is the settings on the page containing this key will be reverted to their default. So you just hit that and you get back to default. So if you change anything on any of these pages, this should get you back to default. And then this image here is the current setting screen can be saved to the USB port. So that's what this is about. Nothing, you know, that you need to be worried about. You have your wireless information. You also have your machine information right here that tells you what's going on, and that takes you directly to screen 5. This one will take you to screen 9. This one is going to take you to screen 9 as well. And I'll get to those screens when it's time to get to those screens. But let me go back to 1. The frame display. Very important. This over here will tell you what frame you have on your machine. As you can see, I have frame A. This one tells you the largest size of frame or hoop that you can put on your A arm. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if I put on a smaller hoop, that hoop is going to show up here, and it'll let you know what size. This frame display here is very important because it lets you put grids in here. So if you're trying to line something up, if you're putting a design on here and you want to line the design up and get it situated the way you want it to be, it's good to be able to have your grids. This is the 3/8. You have the 1 inch, and then you have it broken down into quarters, and then you have nothing at all. I always keep mine on the 1 inch. Rarely do I put it on anything else. The next one is your thread colors. You can name of colors. Can basically what it's saying is when you're assigning your thread when you're assigning your threads to a needle, you can assign it by name or you can assign it by number. This one is where you can, like if you use all Madeira poly or Floriani or Brother, they got Madeira rayon and Salty, Robinson Anton poly, Robinson Anton rayon, Issacore or Issacore, Gooderman, Pace Setter Pro, Iris, Floriani, and then Original, which is Brother. And then you can just have it on Embroidery as generic, which I pretty much keep it on Embroidery generic because I don't use one particular thread brand. Down here you have Embroidery background color. Now what does that mean? You can select a color for your display screen. If you see that it turned yellow, it turned purple, it turned pink, it turned brown, whatever that is, green. I keep mine on white. What's the purpose of that? If you have, say for instance, if I have it on white and I'm using a white fabric and a very light design, I may not be able to see it very well. So it would make sense for me to change the color to yellow or a light yellow or a light green or something where I can see it better. That's the purpose of that. So you can change your background color and thumbnail background color. This is the information that's down at the bottom. This is your display at the top. This down here is your thumbnail, and you can change all of that if you want to as well, just messing around with it. I leave all of that stuff at default, so nothing has changed. So that's everything on page 1. A lot of stuff. For me, the most important thing on this page is the frame display. and the grid. All of the rest of the stuff I don't change. It's good to know that I can change my background color, which I have. And again, I don't, since I use a lot of different brands of threads, I don't do anything with the name of color or the embroidery brand. Now you can go to page 2. Page 2, you have your thread trimming. It's either on or off. Basically, do you want to cut your jump stitches? Yes, you do. Then you have what is the length. I keep mine at DST setting. Why? This is default. I've not changed it. If I was a digitizer, I probably would manipulate this more because I would understand it more, but I don't do anything with it. Short stitch delete. Again, this is default. You can change it. Your standard tail, I don't change it. You can. That's the tail that's left through the thread after it is cut with the wiper blade to keep it from coming unthreaded when it's going up and down, and when it stops with the wiper blade. Therefore, you don't have to keep rethreading your needle. Your basting distance, you can baste on this machine. Why would I want to baste? Okay, say for instance you're doing a knit beanie, and you know that material slips and slides and moves around and what have you. Or let's say you're doing a minky blanket for a kid, and you're putting some type of design on that blanket, and you know that material slips and slides and moves around, and you want it to be stabilized. Now you have it stabilized. You even have it in a mighty hoop, so you think it's pretty stable. But again, that is some very slick material. You may be excuse me, you may be doing some of that jogging suit material, or like an umbrella material type thing. You get the picture. You can put a basting square around it to give it more stability, and this excuse me, allows you to set the length, because you don't want your threads to be too far apart, but you don't want them to be too close because it'll be too difficult to get them out. So that is what that's for. Then you have your acceleration of your needle, and I all of the things that I have on my machine is at default, but the option to change it is there, and that's what's important. If you are very much into embroidery, digitizing, and those kinds of things, it's very useful because you can make this machine be adjusted to what you want it to be and what you like for it to be. So that's your page 2. Now your page 3. Since I use manual color, I assign my colors manually. I don't really do a lot of this. Needle attribute settings, and this is where you can just assign your colors. You can use color or you can use number, because like here, the last design that I was working on, the design itself said it was going to be salmon pink on needle 7. So it shows up salmon pink on needle 7. Now if I hit number, I would have to key in the number for salmon pink, put it back on there. However, I wasn't using salmon pink. That's what the machine read on the design itself. So this is specifically if you're using the specific colors that your design says, or if you have assign your colors in your software before you put it on the machine, then it's going to know what color that's supposed to be, and on what needle and what have you. And you can make the assignments. Like I can do sky blue. Sky blue is on number 10. I can anchor this. And what is anchor? Anchor means, like for me, I have always kept my white thread on needle 1 and my black thread on needle 2. That has been my go-to. Now I could use the anchor, which is this icon here, hit it, and I can definitely have it assigned to be, see right here, it's now anchored as sky blue is going to be on number 10. So what that means to my machine is that I will always have sky blue on number 10, which is not the case. Now white, like I said, okay, my white is on number 3 now. So I can hit anchor and say, okay, my white is going to always be on number 3. Then I can go get black. No, where is that black? Where is black? Can't tell the black. There is black. So I can put black at number 2 and anchor it. So as you can see, then I can go back on number 10 and take that. Nope, that's telling them not to do that. Okay, so now I've taken the anchor off of number 10. So that means I'm not tying the blue to number 10 anymore. But I have I've anchored my black to number 2 and my white to number 3. That is always going to be that way until I change it. And this one right here, as you can see, since this number 10 needle was highlighted, that means I'm not going to use that needle. I may have a specific thread on that needle that I only want to use for special things. Like I may have metallic thread assigned to that needle, and I'm not going to use that needle for anything but the metallic thread. So then I just put a no on there, or don't sew, or whatever. Therefore, I'm not going to ever use that until I'm ready to use it. Then I come back and take it off. But that's not the case. And I'm going to unanchor that because I don't anchor my threads. I don't. And I'm not even going to hit OK because I don't even want that to be the case. I'm just going to go ahead and get out of that. And then, okay, it didn't go away. I know what I need to do. I need to clear it. Well, I'll figure out how to clear it after we're done with this. But I'm going to clear that. Well, it's not anchored, so it really doesn't matter whether I clear it or not, because probably once I shut the machine down and come back, it's going to go away anyway because I didn't hit OK and I didn't anchor it. But, and the reason why I'm not going to anchor it, because like I said, I only have 10 needles. And I use multiple colors. And there are times when I need to use all 10 needles and not use black or white, believe it or not. So I'm not going to anchor that. I'm not going to say my black is always going to be number 2 and my white's always going to be number 3, because I switched it off of number 1 for a totally different reason. But I don't want to make that assignment because I do not want that to be the case, because I move my thread colors around based upon what I'm stitching, not based upon what this machine says, because I don't do that type of assignment. So number 4 page, background image. This is a good one. When you use your camera and you scan the background to see how to position or what the position of your design is, and you want to make sure that you have it centered, it's going to start where you want it to start because you have the little crosshair. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I do have a video that talks about that, but I'll talk about that a little later as we go on. But you've used your camera, you've scanned this design in, now you're ready to move on to something different, but that design is still sitting there on your display. And you don't know what to do. You can't get rid of it. Well, yeah, you can. All you have to do, if you do a display, then you come in here and you just hit the off button and it goes away. That's all. On, off. So Well, I didn't finish my statement that I was making because my camera just kind of stopped on me, and I don't know why. I think it was the setting that I put it on. So I'm holding this with my hand, as you can tell, and I just wanted to just wrap this one video up, because as I mentioned, I was going to do more than one video. I think I'm going to do at least one or two more, which is a continuation of this video. So I just wanted to let you know that part 2 will be coming as soon as I can get my memory card all fixed up and everything. Then I will start on part 2, and I'm going to go all the way through until page 11. It may take a part 2 and part 3 to complete it, because I want to make sure that I cover everything, and I don't want one video to be too long. So with that being said, I'm just going to say bye-bye for this particular video. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Please give me a thumbs up. That's extremely important to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, and come back for more, because part 2 is coming. And also plan to join my live every Tuesday night, Shirley's Wind Down Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care, and I'll see you in a little bit.